Djibouti's Foreign Affairs Minister Mahamoud Youssouf has been elected the new chairperson of the African Union Commission, AUC, securing 33 votes in the 7th round of voting held in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Kenya's former Prime Minister Raila Odinga came second and was narrowly eliminated in the 6th round after a fiercely contested race. Youssouf, who will replace Musa Faki after 2 terms, will serve a 4-year term with the potential for re-election in the first round. In the first round, Raila garnered 20 votes against Mahamoud's 18, while Richard Mandrato of Madagascar bagged 10 votes. There was 1 abstained vote. The second round, Raila secured 22 votes, Mahamoud got 19, and Randria Mandrato received 7 votes. One nation abstained from the second round as well. The former Kenya Prime Minister, however, came up short in the 3rd round after receiving 20 votes, losing to Mahamoud, who rose to first place with 23 votes, while Randria Mandrato came 3rd with 5 votes. There was still 1 abstention, and Randria Mandrato was eliminated from the election, leaving Raila head-to-head against Mahamoud. Mahamoud maintained his lead in the 4th round, scoring 25 votes against Raila's 21 votes. There was 1 spoiled vote, while 1 nation abstained. In the 5th round, Mahamoud garnered 26 votes, Raila scored 21 votes, and 1 nation abstained from the vote. Right, we're linking up live with our reporter John Curia, who's standing by live in Addis Ababa.
Good evening, Fayaz Curia from the headquarters of the African Union in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And like has been since evening, indeed, Kenya lost its bid to lead the African Union Commission. This is the 2nd time in less than 2 years that Kenya is leaving this corridors bruised diplomatically. Remember, there was a bid by Amina Mohammed in 2017 running for the position of African Union Commission Chairperson, and this time Raila Odinga. In a bit, I will be telling you what Raila Odinga has said and showing you what he has said, because we had a conversation with him. You'll remember in our conversation at around 7 p.m., we were saying we are yet to get any reaction from the candidate, that is the Honorable Raila Odinga. And immediately after, almost 20 minutes later, we got a reaction from him, and he says he's satisfied with the outcome of the election and congratulates Mahamoud Youssouf Ali of Djibouti on winning this election, and says that Africa has actually made its choice. But of course, there were questions as regards why the process went the way it did, despite so much lobbying and the former Prime Minister, doing shuttle diplomacy across the continent, trying to woo African leaders to support his bid. Some of it, a question being whether the DRC conflict in itself and how it has evolved has had its own impact on the outcome of this election. But the former Prime Minister says he's not in a position to speculate, but then was quick to say that the conflict in DRC needs to end, and the wanton destruction of property as well as the loss of lives needs to be dealt with. Of course, that is a matter that we'll delve into in the coming days, and I'm sure even his campaign will get to of what transpired this evening, because if you check at some of the things that have happened this past week regarding the DRC conflict, it could probably have boiled over into this matter of the AUC elections. Now, we also got an opportunity really not to have an interview with the president, that is President William Ruto, but of course I overheard his comment as he was exiting from the Nelson Mandela Hall right here at the AUC, that is at the African Union headquarters. And what he said is, we have done what we could. We have done what we could. That is the president's sentiment regarding this particular election. And of course, the question now is how this moves forward. And of course, later also you will get to see a clip of the candidate for Djibouti, who has actually emerged the winner of this election, being the chairperson. He's the foreign affairs minister for the nation of Djibouti, who has actually emerged the winner and has actually been sworn in this evening to take over from Musa Faki Mahamat, who has been the chairperson for the last 8 years. Selma Haydad from Algeria also has actually won the position of deputy chairperson. I want to give you a little bit of context so that you see how this race shaped up. When the country, or when the presidents went to vote for the first round, you will remember that Raila Odinga led that contest with about 20 votes, and then Mahamoud from Djibouti actually got 18, with Randiamandrato of Madagascar getting about 10. When it went to the second round, Randiamandrato got 5, Raila Odinga got about 21, and then the Djibouti candidate actually got about 23, and that is how it went up until the point when he got 25. And the northern part of Africa had a choice to make in terms of who do they back so that they also get a reciprocation in terms of the position of vice chairperson. And you can bet that they cast their lot with this candidate who appeared to have more prospects, and that was the Djiboutian candidate, Mahamoud Youssouf. And that is how they cast their vote. That is why you saw all of a sudden from the about 26 votes and jumped all the way to 33 because the northern bloc was really counting on particularly the francophone countries to back their bid. Once again, like I said, at around 7 p.m., the fault lines of francophone anglophone have emerged again, and this time you realize that actually the African Union Commission chairperson has come from what you would say a francophone, and again, even the chairperson of the African Union, who has taken over the Angolan president, is also from a francophone country. It was what Amina Mohamed blamed for her loss in 2017. It also appears to be one of the factors that came out in this election, that it probably superseded some of the other global or continental interests. But like I said again, there were negotiations to be made, there were compromises to be made, and looking up at topping up or reciprocation when it comes to issues of voting. Remember, in this contest of vice chairperson, Morocco, which was backing Kenya, by the way, had a candidate. Egypt had a candidate, and so did Algeria. But the Algerian candidate has emerged as the best. That's the kind of politics really that goes into, or what you would say interest that goes into this kind of an election. But so far so good. You would say that Raila put up a good fight, but then again lost at this 11th hour, owing to all these factors compounded together. But right now, we will continue with these meetings tomorrow. But the main business of the summit is concluded because the chairperson of the AUC has been elected and actually sworn in. Tomorrow, President William Ruto will be chairing a meeting on the African institutional reforms, being the chair of that department, or chairing or heading that area. He will be having that meeting before returning back to Kenya. There will be a closing ceremony later tomorrow, but like I said, the main business of the day has concluded. The main business of the summit has concluded, and therefore, as I wind up, I want to show you what Raila Odinga said regarding the outcome of this election.
Elections have been done today, and we did not succeed. Members expressed their democratic rights and voted for Mr. Youssouf. So I'm saying I accept the outcome of the vote and congratulate Mr. Youssouf for his victory today, and wish him well in steering this movement forward. I want this organization of the African Union to be strong, to merge and be able to serve the people of Africa effectively. Most of my friends voted for me, because in those who voted for me are also my friends, but probably they thought otherwise. So so they exercise their democratic rights.
Had you prepared yourself for such an eventuality?
Because when you go to a contest, there can only be two outcomes. You can win or you can lose. So this is one of them. And therefore, I'm not bitter. I'm very happy, in fact, indeed. And I'm still available to offer services to the continent in any other capacity. My plan now is I'll go back home, and so many things to do back home. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As far as it goes in terms of the reaction by the candidate Raila Odinga, who says he will go back home because he has really a lot to do, and of course, you know, his contribution in national politics and national conversations, which he says is part of what he's going to use. He's going to go back home to do. Of course, like you've seen, the DRC conversation has featured a lot, and he says he doesn't want to speculate why it went the way it did, but then calls for ceasefire as well as peace in terms of the conflict in DRC. But very quickly, why that kept coming up. Yesterday, there were elections for commissioners and people who, you know, really be in charge of some of these dockets that are under the African Union Commission. I wanted to go check how Rwanda fared in terms of the election that was being conducted yesterday, and probably you could marry it up with the result that came out today. But for now, let me hand you back to Fayaz Quresh in Nairobi.
Thank you very much, John Curia, for that elaborate analysis from Addis Ababa. Thank you.